At 82, I've learned a lifetime's worth of lessons, but there's one choice I deeply regret: moving into a nursing home. Back then, it felt like the right call. My family urged me on, assuring me I'd have all the care and comfort I could need. I trusted them. But once I settled in, I discovered a reality far different from the rosy picture I'd been sold. I know many of you might be weighing this option for yourself or someone you love. Maybe you've been told it's the safest path or that it'll simplify life. But before you take that leap, I want to share 7 hard-earned truths I wish I'd known beforehand. Life in a nursing home isn't just about convenience. It reshapes everything, and once you're in, getting out is tougher than you'd expect. Stick with me to the end, because some of these insights might catch you by surprise. If you know someone considering a nursing home, this could be the wake-up call they need. The hardest blow after moving into a nursing home wasn't the cramped room, the rigid meal times, or the unfamiliar faces around me. It was the gut-punch realization that I'd lost control of my own life. Before I moved in, I had my own rhythm. I decided when to rise, what to eat, and how to fill my days. I could stroll outside on a whim, whip up a favorite recipe, or sink into my cozy armchair with a good book. But in the nursing home, I quickly learned my time wasn't mine anymore. Everything revolved around a schedule I didn't set. Breakfast arrived at a fixed hour, whether I was hungry or not. Lights out came at a set time, ready or not. Want to take a walk outside? You might need permission and someone free to go with you. Simple choices like what to eat or where started feeling like rare treats instead of everyday rights. I'll never forget my first week, waking up in a bed that felt foreign. I stretched, reached for the novel I'd been reading at home, and then it hit me as I glanced around. This wasn't my home. My books, my beloved armchair, the little comforts I'd gathered over decades, they were gone. In their place were bare walls, a bed I didn't pick, and a sinking feeling I couldn't shake. I was no longer in charge. The toughest part? Once you surrender your independence, getting it back is nearly impossible. You adapt because you have to. You stop questioning what's for dinner. You stop asking to go for a walk whenever you feel like it. You mold yourself to their system, but along the way you start losing pieces of who you are. If you're thinking about a nursing home, ask yourself, are you ready to let go of the small freedoms that make life yours? Because once they're gone, you'll miss them more than you ever imagined. One of the hardest pills to swallow after moving into a nursing home is realizing the world outside keeps spinning without you. When I first arrived, my family promised they'd visit often, and I believed them. At the start, they kept their word. My son Tom stopped by every week, and my grandkids popped in on weekends. For a little while, I felt tethered to the life I'd always known. But as the months rolled on, those visits dwindled. Tom started calling instead of coming by. The grandkids got caught up with college and jobs. Holidays hurt the most. Everyone swore they'd show up, but last-minute changes left me waiting. Before long, I found myself alone in the common room, watching other residents gaze at the door, hoping today might be the day someone remembers them. It's not that my family stopped caring, life just got in the way. When you're not part of their daily routine, it's easy for folks to assume you're fine, that you're settling in, that you don't need them as much. But the truth is, the longer you're in a nursing home, the easier it is to slip from their minds. I recall one quiet evening, sitting in my room, clutching my phone, debating whether to call my daughter Sarah. I didn't want to be a burden or nag her about a visit that might not happen. So I set the phone down, and it hit me. This was my new reality. Watching days pass, hoping someone might think of me. If you're considering a nursing home, ask yourself, are you ready for the sting of loneliness? Because no matter how much your family loves you, once you're out of sight, fading from their thoughts happens faster than you ever expect. If these insights are resonating, drop a 2 in the comments to let me know you're here. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe and tap the bell so you don't miss a thing. Let's keep going. When I moved into the nursing home, I thought I was just changing my address. I didn't realize I was also letting go of what gave my life meaning. Back home, I had responsibilities, routines, and hobbies that got me out of bed each morning. Even the little things, meals were prepared for me. Someone else handled the cleaning. My plants, they weren't mine to nurture anymore. At first, I told myself it'd be a relief, no more chores, no more to-do lists, just rest. But within weeks, I felt an emptiness creeping in. The days stretched on with nothing to do but wait. I saw it in others too. People who once brimmed with energy now sat silently, staring into space, watching time crawl by. There was a fellow resident, Henry, 81 years old, who'd been a mechanic his whole life. At home, he was always tinkering, fixing up old radios in his shed. But here, no tools, no projects, nothing to build. Your mind slows, your body follows. And before long, you're just another face in a place where time moves, but nothing really changes. If you're considering a nursing home, ask yourself, what gives your life purpose? Because once you move in, holding on to what makes you feel alive isn't just about filling hours. It's a fight to keep the fire inside you burning. Before I moved into the nursing home, I was doing pretty well for my age. I wasn't out running races, but I took care of myself, going for walks, cooking my own meals, and keeping up with small routines that kept me active. Trips to the grocery store, morning stretches, or just pacing around the house kept my legs strong. But once I settled into the nursing home, everything changed. At first, it felt like I was just taking a break. Meals were delivered, so I didn't need to stand in the kitchen. If I needed anything, I could press a button and someone would swoop in to help. But what I didn't see coming was how the less I did, the weaker I got. I moved less, and soon my legs felt stiffer. I sat more than I ever had, and before I knew it, getting up from a chair became a struggle. The muscles I'd worked years to maintain started fading faster than I could have imagined. And it wasn't just me. I saw it in others too. Folks who walked in on their own 2 feet were soon leaning on walkers, then wheelchairs. People who'd been independent began needing help with things they'd never struggled with before. The more help we got, the more we seemed to need. I think of my neighbor Martha, a lively 80-year-old who arrived full of spunk. She'd circled the facility daily, determined not to let age slow her down. But a few months in, I noticed her walks grew shorter. Then came the cane, then a wheelchair. One day she looked at me and said, "I don't know how it happened, but I feel like I aged a decade in a heartbeat." That's exactly how it felt for me too. When you stop using your body, you start losing it. In a nursing home where everything's set up to make life easier, it's easy to forget that movement isn't just convenient, it's what keeps you alive. If I'd known how fast my strength would slip away, I'd have fought harder to stay active, to keep moving, to push myself even on days I didn't feel like it. If you're considering a nursing home, ask yourself, will you have the drive to keep your body strong when everything's designed to take the effort out of life? Because once you slow down, getting back up is harder than you think. If these insights are hitting home, drop a 4 in the comments to let me know you're here. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe and tap the bell so you don't miss a thing. Your support keeps us creating content to inform and inspire you. Let's move on. One thing I didn't fully grasp before moving into a nursing home was just how much privacy I'd have to give up. At home, I had my own space, a sanctuary, where I could shut my bedroom door, enjoy some quiet, and do things my way. But in the nursing home, privacy feels like a rare luxury you don't always get. From the moment I arrived, it seemed like someone was always watching. Staff came and went. Rooms were checked on a schedule, and shared spaces meant you were rarely alone. Even simple tasks like getting dressed or using the bathroom often required help. I knew they were just doing their jobs, but it's tough to accept assistance for things you've done on your own your entire life. I remember my first week grappling with the fact that I had to ask permission for things I used to do without a second thought. Need a shower? You might have to wait until someone's free to assist. Have to use the bathroom? Pressing the call button sometimes meant waiting longer than you'd hope. Even meal choices were limited. If you didn't like the day's menu, tough luck. Then there was the roommate situation. Not everyone gets a private room, and sharing space with someone you didn't choose can wear on you. I was fortunate to have a kind roommate, Emma, a 79-year-old with a gentle spirit. But I heard stories from others who weren't so lucky. Roommates who were noisy, untidy, or had cognitive challenges that made sleep nearly impossible. No matter how hard you try to make your room feel like home, it's never truly yours. Dignity is a precious thing to lose, and I didn't realize how much I'd have to surrender until I was there. When staff knock, but don't always wait for your answer before entering. When you're spoken to like a patient instead of a person. When your daily routine is dictated by a schedule you didn't create, it changes you. You start feeling less like yourself and more like just another name on a roster. If you're considering a nursing home, ask yourself, are you ready to let go of the privacy and control you've cherished your whole life? Because once they're gone, getting them back is harder than you ever expect. When I first moved into the nursing home, at 85, I told myself it was just a trial run. I'd give it a shot, see how it felt, and if it wasn't for me, I'd pack up and head back home. It sounded so simple, like checking into a hotel for a few nights. But what I didn't see coming was how hard it would be to walk away once I was settled in. At first I thought, if I don't like it, I'll just go back to my house. But my house wasn't the same anymore. It sat empty, gathering dust, and keeping it up from a distance was a struggle. My kids had already started sorting through my things, selling off what they figured I wouldn't need, even talking about renting the place out. When I mentioned moving back, they hesitated, their voices soft but firm. "Dad, are you sure you can manage on your own? Isn't it safer to stay? We just want what's best for you." Then there was my body. After months in a place where meals were brought to me, rooms were cleaned for me, and I didn't need to walk far for anything, I wasn't as spry as I used to be. The independence I'd held onto for years was slipping through my fingers. The thought of living alone again, managing the house, cooking, getting around, it started to feel like climbing a mountain I wasn't sure I could scale anymore. That doubt, that fear, it kept me rooted in place. I saw it in others too. Take Margaret, a lively 83-year-old who moved in around the same time. She'd planned to stay just a few months, test the waters. But the longer she stayed, the harder it got to imagine leaving. The outside world felt distant, like a place she used to know but wasn't sure she belonged anymore. Some folks lost the option entirely. Homes sold, savings drained by the cost of care. There was no going back. Nobody warns you about this. Moving into a nursing home feels like a choice you can undo, but for most of us, it's a one-way street. The home becomes your whole world, and before you know it, the life you left behind starts to feel like a faded photograph. If you're thinking about a nursing home, pause and ask yourself, are you ready for the chance that once you're in, getting out might not be as easy as you hope? Because once you settle in, the hurdles, money, health, even your own heart, can be tougher to clear than you ever imagined. If you're still with me and finding these insights helpful, drop a 6 in the comments to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I'd love for you to hit that button and turn on the bell so you don't miss a thing. Your support keeps us going, helping us share stories and lessons to inspire and inform. Looking back at 85, I don't regret growing older. It's a privilege to have lived this long, but I do regret believing a nursing home was my only path forward. I walked through those doors expecting comfort, safety, and a better life. Instead, I found a world that slowly chipped away at my independence, my privacy, my sense of purpose, and even the person I used to be. Are all nursing homes bad? Not at all. Some folks truly need the care they provide. But before you sign on that dotted line, take a hard look at what you're giving up. Once you move in, life as you know it changes forever. If I could turn back the clock, I'd have fought tooth and nail to stay in my own home, explored every option to get help while holding on to my freedom, and made darn sure I need to be there before making such a permanent leap. If you're facing this choice, I urge you to pause and ask, is this really what's best for me, or just what seems easiest right now? Your routines, your choices, the life you live today, they're worth clinging to for as long as you can. A nursing home might seem like a safe bet, but it comes at a cost. Your freedom, your spark, your you. Weigh that price carefully because some things once lost are gone for good. Thank you for joining me today. I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and share one lesson you're taking away and how you'll use it in your life. Your thoughts mean the world to us and keep us inspired to share more. If this video resonated with you, please give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell so you never miss a story. Sharing this with someone who needs it could make all the difference. Your support fuels us to keep creating content that informs and uplifts. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.